Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I am your host, Giovanna Tardavone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
And today we're going to talk about whole body reset. You know, there's a lot of talk about detoxing our bodies. As we get older, we want to be able to really enjoy more wellness. And, you know, I just want to really find out more and share more information about ways that we can detox and keep our body healthy. And in a harmonious balance. So let's talk about that, Ahmed, because I know you shared a lot of information with me. I'm very knowledgeable about plant-based foods and how we can detox and what's healthy for the body. So let's talk about it.
First things first is that you need to flush out your entire system. And as Dr. Sebi once mentioned, he said the body cannot heal if the colon has not been cleansed. Now, what does that mean? That means avoid processed foods initially. Stay away from gluten, because gluten is sort of a sticky compound that really does get stuck in the gut lining. A lot of people, they like to do water fast for a few days, minimum 3 days or so. But however, there's a bigger majority that what they do is they opt for a juice fast.
Okay.
And the thing is, yes, it's more popular. But initially, what they do is they don't include the fibers in it. They just juice and keep the fiber out. This in order to help with the process of flushing throughout your entire gut lining. Now, once that has taken place, you start to feel a bit lighter. And as the colon has been cleansed, now the nutrient absorption is also at a much higher scale than before.
So you're giving your body a break, essentially.
Yes, you're giving your body a break. And you see, it's basically if you look at a vehicle, right, and if the vehicle is not performing correctly, it could be that the fuel injectors are not clean.
Okay.
So what they do is they add a solution to the fuel tank in order to cleanse the debris that's on the valves, for an example. Human body works the same way. Over the years, you accumulate a lot of waste and toxins. You see, a person that is fat is not fat, from choice alone, but that's also an indication that, there is a lot of waste that needs to get out. Natural state of a harmonious body is, maintaining a very balanced figure. Sizes, of course, have difference, but nevertheless, you'll have that perfect symmetry for yourself. So as soon as you manage to get the junk out, you'd also have to focus on highly dense nutritional food after that. Let's say you fasted for 30 days or fasted for 60 days on a juice fast. There's an interesting movie I suggest everyone to watch. It's called Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a story of this businessman who basically he's a professional, but his eating habits were horrible.
Okay.
And due to lack of having a health awareness or health consciousness, he was opting to, for example, pizzas, burgers, shakes, soft drinks as such.
Millions of Americans do that.
Millions of Americans do.
Americans, people in general,
And as a consequence of that, he basically was doing regular checkups and was on many different types of pills every day. Like from morning, he had to take a pill for, let's say, cholesterol, another pill for, let's say, heart palpitation, as such.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he decided to take his life into his own hands. He
In a
said
good
it like
way.
in a good way, because he's
Okay.
tired of living off not
Pills.
eating well and then being on all these medications. Remember, sometimes a doctor may prescribe you an additional medication to counter the side effect of the first one. so,
Right. And it's a
so
never-ending cycle. Yep.
it's a never-ending cycle. You know, we've all been blessed with a self-healing and maintaining body.
Mm-hmm.
It knows what it has to do, but are we giving it the right environment and conditions and materials for it to use it?
Right.
Dr. Charlotte Gerson was a daughter of Dr. Max Gerson. She actually said, imagine if your body is like a very expensive machine, such as a Maserati or a Ferrari. Are you going to put in this the wrong kind of fuel for it not to perform optimally, or are you going to feed it right?
Right. Because
The
either
same,
way, if you don't feed it well, it's going to break down and you're going to have to pay to get it fixed. Same thing with our
absolutely,
bodies, right?
absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
even if you look at those who have a cholesterol, for an example,
Mm-hmm.
how do the hospitals calculate it? And what under what acronyms does it go? They always say, oh, your LDL is high and your HDL is low. But if you switch to a vegetarian diet,
Mm-hmm.
it shows the opposite, right? It shows you your LDL has decreased, which means you're in a better healthy state now, and your HDL is higher. Now, people think that this is the measurement of cholesterol, but it's not. It's actually measuring lipoproteins. HDL stands for higher density lipoproteins, and LDL is lower density lipoproteins. Now, what is the significance here? Is that you're having protein, but from a cleaner source of fuel. You
Gotcha.
can you
Gotcha.
always have a choice. You see, if somebody is in the wilderness, like it's in a desert area, of
Mm-hmm.
course the choices are limited, But in our modern times, since we have everything presented to us, I mean, you could walk into Whole Foods or Walmart or anywhere, preferably whatever you select.
Yeah.
Make sure if you can get organic as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't want to put in the same amount of
Right.
toxins.
I was going to say you detoxed your body so that you can reset, right, from scratch.
Yes,
And now what you're putting in is being conscious of using high quality foods, because if you don't, you're going to start the cycle all over again.
absolutely. So another thing, important role is that's why you find a lot of people that are not eating healthy, they're depressed, is
Mm,
because they're depleting all the energies of their natural microbiome. The
okay.
microbiome is another key component that once you've finished cleansing, now it's time to rebuild your microbiome to a healthy, harmonious state.
What did,
And
go ahead.
pizzas and other like processed foods is not going to help it. It's
What about,
because, go
I
ahead.
was, I was going to say that guy that you mentioned before in the movie.
Yes, yeah.
What
He
did he,
he
go ahead.
he used to have almost two large pizzas at a time every day
Wow. For lunch and dinner.
for lunch. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see.
and uh, it's just something that is not beneficial to your
Of course.
microbiome. Your gut bacteria can't feed off it. You know, why is the gut microbiome so important? Well, a couple of reasons. So imagine your body to be as a factory, and without these living organisms, which I like to call the workers of your factory,
Yeah, I love that.
who's gonna convert the food into energy for you?
Correct.
how is your food going to be broken down? It all matters. So the correct food for your gut microbiome are plant fibers. They feed off the fibers. So if you're having a plant-based diet,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually providing nutrients to your gut microbiome, which will protect you against uh, certain diseases in the future. As long as your gut microbiome stays healthy,
Healthy.
your mental capacity will always be at its optimum, and
Well, they say
you're
that's
gonna
like the second brain.
that's like a second brain. But
Right.
there is a reason. Those that are going on a standard American diet, which people like to call the sad diet, and it has a reason, right? Because if you're starving the beneficial bacteria in your
Mm-hmm.
gut, know this, that most of the serotonin, probably around 90% or so, is being produced in the gut. It's not over in the brain. So if you keep your gut microbiome happy, then
Yes,
the mood is automatically happy all the time.
I love that. So the foods do control your body's mood.
It always does. Some foods would put you to
Yeah.
sleep, other foods would energize you.
Like pasta.
Um,
Pasta puts me to sleep all the time. It never fails.
yeah,
And I think it's the carbs, right? And the gluten.
it's the carbs, it's the gluten, spikes of insulin happening at the same time because of lack of
Mm,
fiber. If I mean, most pastas today are generally not whole wheat, so there's
yeah.
a lack of fiber. But another part of it is a lot of today's food have been genetically modified as well. It's
Like
unfortunate,
processed foods, you mean?
processed food, but they
Yeah.
say the heirloom or the original state of wheat, since when it was created by God, had only 10% of gluten in the actual
Mm-hmm.
wheat itself. But ever since, with modernization of hybrid foods or with the genetically modified engineering, they've managed to make today's wheat at 50% gluten rate. Now, gluten is another protein source. So I think whoever did it, they did it in order to, uh, you know, support the cause of feeding the hungry and making,
Yeah.
basically food engineering to feed the world. But it's not falling harmoniously with us.
It's funny you say that because I did watch a video a long time ago that they said it was going to be very expensive, where they created a piece of meat that was synthetic. And they were talking about synthetic foods being in restaurants, and only the rich can afford synthetic food. In my mind, I'm like, why would I don't care how rich I would be. Why on earth would I want to eat synthetic food?
That's one. Uh, you
Right?
see, you're not synthetic. So therefore, your body cannot synthesize anything that is synthetic. It will have an after effect.
Mm,
You you've been created naturally, and if you stick to basic food, whatever has been created naturally, and just you know prepare your food the way that it's supposed to be, then you're on the safer side. But
natural foods from nature.
natural foods, nature,
And that's why I'm just going to roll it right back to detoxing when they do the juice detox, right? And I
yeah,
just remember from my journey, it was all about as much greens as you can use, that when you're doing juicing and that it comes from the ground, it is truly a cure for your body,
absolutely.
for parasites, for whatever's going on in there. Anything from the ground is what your body needs versus synthetic.
Here is a daily regimen of um let's say a yogi, just as a ritual, when you mention parasites, or there could be, some bacteria, if the bad bacteria overtakes, of course you're going to get ill. That's
Mm-hmm.
why another reason is why you should have a healthy microbiome. But yogis, in general, those that are very health conscious, they have a certain practice every morning. They take a little bit of turmeric
Mm-hmm.
in combination with neem.
With
Neem is a
me.
neem plant.
Okay.
Neem has um, like it's very medicinal. So is turmeric. Turmeric, they use it for seasoning, but it's very medicinal. It's Turmeric is an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and parasites don't like it. So if there's anything
Mm-hmm.
in your gut lining, surely it will assist in cleansing and into flushing out the unwanted guests in our bodies, let's say.
And we know they're there when we're not feeling well, right? When the body's not functioning well, you're feeling over bloated, or you're feeling like, you're tired all the time. It's
A
probably
health,
an indication that you need to detox.
absolutely. A healthy mind is always in a healthy body. And
Mm.
people ask, okay, what are my selections to detox? How can I detox? I remember we once had Dr. Jolie on the
Yes,
show, and he mentioned if you focus on yellow, red, and purple.
that's right. You remember that,
Yeah,
right? Good memory.
yellow, red, and
Hmm.
purple. I mean, there's an abundance different plant-based food that we have that comes in different colors, but these are the main three colors that can really help you to detox and flush out.
I love that. Love that. Um, let's go back to that story about the man. So he decided to stop eating. Well, he decided that he was sick and tired of taking the medication.
Yes, he went on a juice fast.
Mm-hmm.
First, initially, he started for 30 days, and during his juice fast, he was also uh, going for exercise. He would walk and jog at times as much as he could. So, you see, when you exercise, you allow the entire body to circulate much better.
Right.
Therefore, if there is any, how can I say, toxin somewhere all over the body, up to the skin level, that will start to circulate during your detox process. So it allows the body to eliminate more. And when he continued within 60 days, he managed to get off all his medications. His blood pressure
Wow.
was normal. His heart regulated beautifully. His sleep pattern changed. He started having more deeper sleep. He had a lot better mental clarity and mental sharpness than he did before. So what he claimed as well is that we get stressed, right, at times, and if we're not
Mm-hmm.
eating healthy, our stress is multiplied. But
Right.
if you eat healthy, what happens is your body and your mind becomes more prone to resist stress naturally.
Right. You're much calmer. So his
So
health turned around by just
uh,
doing that.
absolutely, and there are many foods, but if you're doing your research, focus on foods that are high on the ORAC scale. Now, what is the ORAC scale? It means oxygen radical absorbance capacity. There are certain foods that can just, like a sponge, gather all the toxin and help you to eliminate. Two foods that I love, like, when I think of terms of detox power,
Mm-hmm.
one of them are goji berries. They're just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And goji berries, I believe, it's 25 times. It has 25 times more antioxidants than blueberries. And another great thing is that about it, it has 500 times the vitamin C than oranges by weight.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's 10 times more powerful than beta carotene for your eyes.
So you can put
And
that in a juicer. You can juice it and have it in a smoothie or something.
absolutely, it has a rare kind of sugar called germanium, which helps you to activate your immune system. It lowers your body from uric acid, increases the strength in your legs, better blood flow, gets rid of the LDL cholesterol or lowers it to a greater degree, and restores hemoglobin. You see, if hemoglobin is restored, then the nutrients can also travel freely along, the blood. And as it will help also to alkalize your body, you're also entering into a higher pH, which you can attain harmonium.
Right.
The body has to maintain a pH of 7.8
Yes.
or within your blood in order to attain that harmonium. And that's where the actual healing take place. Now, there is another food which many, I'm sure everybody loves this one, which has 5.5 times more antioxidant power than goji berries, and that is the cacao or
Oh, is that
chocolate.
chocolate?
That's chocolate, and I like to take mine to be like closest to the purity of the cacao itself. So I choose to have
Love that.
99%. It's very bitter, but it makes you better.
Bitter but better. Bitter but better health.
If you look at the older generations, whenever they had summer vacation, their mothers would give them a lot of bitter roots to eat and stuff, and that's in order to help them and prepare them for the entire year.
Wow. Wow.
So go
Beets
ahead.
sugar, right? It's the opposite of sugar. Think what sugar can do to our body. I mean, I know I've learned to stay away from sugar, putting, oh my goodness, I used to put, and I still drink my coffee, my espresso, but I stay away from sugar now. But I used to put like, there was more sugar than coffee because, I drank the little dummy test coffee. And, my husband and the kids go, my God, Mom, how many bags of sugar are you putting in there? I'm like, it's bitter. I need to make it sweet. Now I learned that was the wrong way to do it. You live and
and
learn.
and a lot of studies have come out recently linking diabetes to gluten.
Mm,
And the thing is that if you look at the pancreas, it's not able to release insulin into the bloodstream. So one, theory goes up for a lot of people that it's the gluten that is blocking the pancreas from releasing. Uh, doc, Dr. Max Gerson's daughter, Charlotte Gerson, she said if you get rid of the animal fat, you could reverse diabetes.
wow.
And she's had many patients which whom she helped overcome cancer by detoxing.
I believe that. I believe that. There's a hospital called Hope for Cancer, and they go through that process as well as other, remedies, but they do go through detoxing, to oxidation to help with.
Oxygenating the blood,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's all part of it. And I think, again, when we go into detoxing, you're really giving your body a
Yes.
break from all the heavy, think of like a motor, like you said, in a car, just going, going, going. But when you stop the car and you give the car a break, it doesn't overheat. Your body may go
Yeah.
and overheat. And you
But
need
but
help.
but you see, detoxing is like going for an oil change,
Mm,
right? You're eliminating the old
yes.
and intaking fresh, healthier choices. So that's why you put fresh oil back in.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, of course, with brand new filters and everything. So your
Right.
entire organs would be functioning right.
I love that. It's just we have to consciously make the time to do it. And although life is hectic, if we don't do it, we're going to pay the price.
It
That
is, yes, it is cheaper to buy healthier choice foods than to pay the hospital bills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because one thing goes into another, and because it's a system. So when you're feeding it correctly, you're feeding every part of the system that needs the right ingredients to work properly. Any
If
final thoughts?
eat to feed your cells, not just your stomach, not to fill up your stomach.
You know, I remember
You'll be on the right track.
Dr. Jolie had mentioned to, when we considering the foods that we eat, the body just wants the nutrients from that food,
Yes.
right? It just wants the vitamins. So although
Yes.
you may say, oh, I have a nice steak here, it doesn't care about the steak. It doesn't care about the shrimp or the lobster. It cares about the vitamins that it contains to feed the body.
Yes.
So definitely keep that in mind the next time you're out and you're ordering food. It's, you know, what nutrients, what vitamins are you going to get from that? And that's why it's so important to think of natural and organic, because you are getting the best and you're putting the best in your body because you deserve the best, right?
You're
So
meant to be the best as you can be.
that's
So
right. So thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope this show was helpful, and we'll see you next week. Thank you
thank
for
you. See you
joining.
next week.
Thank you, Ahmed. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week.